You were born with individual strengths and a unique purpose. Don't let fears, false beliefs, or life's happenings diminish your influence. It's time to live and lead for impact. Host Kirsten Ross, expert of transformation, will help you defeat the drama and overcome the trauma that can stop you in your tracks. You'll gain focus, find confidence, and take bold action. Unleash passionate, purposeful you. Let's go.
Welcome to Live and Lead for Impact. I'm Kirsten Ross, your host, and this is episode number 170. So in today's episode, I'm going to ask you a question. If you're up against a challenge or something that's frustrating or something's gone awry in your business, taking care of customers, clients, the people you serve, and you're working on a solution, are you focusing on fixing it for now or fixing it for good? So recently I was working with a client and we've been working together for a few months and we're meeting remotely. So we're on the Zoom meeting and he's sitting in a conference room, which is different from where he normally sits. And a few minutes into our session, the lights went out in the conference room. I started laughing. I'm like, oh, what happened? And he's like, this conference room light, the motion sensor, it's not directed in the right way. So he had to get up from his chair, wave his arms around a few feet away from where he'd been sitting. The lights popped back on and he sat back down. We proceeded with our meeting. Now, over the course of our 1 hour session, he had to repeat this pattern 3 times. So I really got thinking about how often we as humans focus on fixing something right now. So often the simplest fix, the quickest fix, will take care of our issue for the moment. But do we even stop to notice that the same issue is popping up over and over? And there might be another fix that's almost as simple, but would fix it for good. And I really had to laugh because the more that I thought about it, and I did tell him, I wasn't laughing behind his back, but I said, how often are people having to do that when they're sitting in this room for a meeting? Because remember, this is a conference room. So he's one person sitting in there right now, but others sitting around the table would have been in the same circumstance. That motion detector still was not going to pick up their movements while they sat at the table. Now, my assumption is that there are a couple of different simple options. One is that motion sensor adjustable. Could someone aim it differently? I have no idea, but that would be one solution I would think about. Another would be to move the table slightly so that people sitting on that side would be detected by the motion sensor and the lights would stay on. But I always like to think about the math of the cost of things like that. I mean, let's say there's 5 people in the room. They're in the middle of a conversation. The lights go out. Everyone stops talking. One person stands up, walks a foot or 2, waves their arms around, and then comes back and sits. Now the conversation can proceed. Well, then this even happened with just the 2 of us. Where were we again? So not only are you losing the time it takes to stand up and move, but then you have to remember, where were we? You stop the flow of the conversation. So as you can tell by my voice, I do chuckle. I love human nature. We are such creatures of habit, and so often we can just struggle to keep fixing the same thing over and over and forgetting to step back and say, wait a minute, what is really a better, more long-term fix? But let's say in that conference room, like I said, what if there are 5 people there and over the course of, a 1 hour meeting, they're losing 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I don't know how much time, but now calculate, 3 meetings a day happening in that room times 5 days in a week. So, now you're up to 15 meetings and, 5 or 10 minutes each, but times the number of people sitting in the room. I mean, it really adds up. So it seems like such a small thing, but it really is adding up. And talk about lost productivity time that could just so easily be fixed. So for today, I just want to ask you, where are you recreating the seemingly simplest fix for now, where you should be looking for the longer term to fix it for good. Remember, the most obvious fix is not necessarily the best. I'm such a huge fan of creative problem solving. So try to make it a goal to pay attention to where you're going to the simplest thing versus putting on that creativity cap and thinking about the much better fix. So that's it for today. I hope that this simple little tip will get you thinking so that you can make your bigger, bolder impact, because you know what? You have to be intentional with your time. And if there are tiny little trip ups getting in your way day to day, moment to moment, those are minutes that are getting away from you, and the world is waiting for your impact. So thanks so much for listening. Get out there and make it a great day. And if you're struggling to make an impact with your team, apply for your leadership breakthrough session right now. Go to defeatthedrama.com/session and apply. I would love to help you have a great breakthrough. All right. Thanks so much. Bye.